This is how the story goes. The legend of Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt.
A chamber dimly lit. Incense hangs heavy in the air. A beautiful woman, adorned in gold, lies dying. A venomous asp slithers across her arm.
Cleopatra was not just a beautiful face. She was a brilliant strategist, a skilled diplomat, and a shrewd politician. She was fluent in 9 languages and was one of the few Ptolemaic rulers to bother learning the Egyptian language. She was a master of propaganda and knew how to use her image to her advantage.
Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, Cleopatra inherited a kingdom in decline. The Ptolemies, of Greek origin, had ruled Egypt for centuries, but their grip on power was weakening. Cleopatra was determined to restore Egypt to its former glory. Born in 69 BC, Cleopatra grew up in the vibrant cosmopolitan city of Alexandria, the capital of Ptolemaic Egypt. Alexandria, with its famed library and lighthouse, was a melting pot of cultures: Greek, Egyptian, Roman, and more.
Unlike many royals, I was a scholar. I devoured scrolls in the Library of Alexandria, immersing myself in philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy. My thirst for knowledge extended beyond academia. I mastered multiple languages, a rarity for rulers of that era. This linguistic prowess would become one of my greatest assets.
Cleopatra's education and intellect set her apart from other rulers of her time. The Ptolemaic dynasty, founded by Ptolemy the Soter, a general of Alexander the Great, had ruled Egypt for centuries. But by Cleopatra's time, the dynasty was in decline. The once mighty kingdom was now a shadow of its former glory, weakened by internal strife and external pressures.
The Ptolemies, though ethnically Greek, had adopted many Egyptian customs. We portrayed ourselves as pharaohs, embracing the religious and cultural traditions to legitimize our rule. This cultural blending, however, did little to quell the unrest brewing within the kingdom.
This complex web of relationships and rivalries within the Ptolemaic dynasty would shape Cleopatra's destiny. At the age of 18, Cleopatra ascended to the throne, ruling jointly with her younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, as was customary. However, the power-sharing arrangement proved tumultuous. Court officials vying for influence fueled the sibling rivalry, pushing Egypt closer to the abyss of civil war.
I refused to be a mere figurehead. To save Egypt, I must consolidate power.
Cleopatra's intelligence and charisma won her the loyalty of many, but her ambition also earned her powerful enemies. The conflict between Cleopatra and Ptolemy XIII escalated, plunging Egypt into a civil war. Forced to flee Alexandria, Cleopatra sought refuge in Rome. It was during this exile that she would encounter a man who would change the course of her life and the destiny of Egypt: Julius Caesar. Cleopatra, exiled from her own kingdom, arrived in Rome seeking a powerful ally. She knew that to reclaim her throne, she needed to win over Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in the Roman Republic.
I need a plan, a way to capture his attention and secure his support.
Legend has it that Cleopatra, known for her flair for the dramatic, had herself smuggled into Caesar's presence rolled up in a carpet. Whether true or embellished, the story speaks volumes about her audacity and cunning. She understood the importance of image and spectacle, especially in a city like Rome, where power was often a performance. Cleopatra's bold move paid off, capturing Caesar's attention and securing his support. With Caesar's military might behind her, Cleopatra returned to Egypt, ready to confront her brother, Ptolemy. The Roman legions made short work of Ptolemy's forces, securing Alexandria and restoring Cleopatra to the throne. But the victory came at a price. Egypt was now firmly under Roman influence, a client state beholden to the dictates of Rome.
Cleopatra, you are a shrewd negotiator. Your survival depends on maintaining a delicate balance, appeasing Rome while preserving Egypt's autonomy.
Cleopatra played her role masterfully, showering Caesar with lavish gifts and presenting herself as a loyal ally and partner. Their relationship, however, went beyond mere political expediency. Caesar, captivated by Cleopatra's intelligence and charisma, found in her a confidant and companion. Their affair, scandalous by Roman standards, produced a son, Caesarion, a living symbol of their bond and a potential heir to both Egypt and Rome. The birth of Caesarion in 47 BC sent shockwaves through the Roman world.
Here was a son, born out of wedlock, fathered by me, Julius Caesar.
Caesar already had an heir, his grandnephew Octavian.
While Caesar acknowledged Caesarion, he stopped short of formally legitimizing him.
In 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated on the Ides of March. The Roman world was in turmoil. Julius Caesar was dead. His assassins, claiming to have saved the Republic, had instead unleashed chaos. Power was up for grabs.
In the East, I, Mark Antony, Caesar's trusted general and lover, sought to consolidate my authority. I summoned Cleopatra, the enigmatic queen of Egypt, to Tarsus.
Cleopatra, ever the strategist, knew this summons was an opportunity. She had lost a powerful protector in Caesar, but saw in Antony a chance to forge a new alliance, one that could secure her kingdom and expand her influence.
I set sail for Tarsus, determined to make a lasting impression.
Cleopatra understood the power of spectacle. She arrived in Tarsus not as a supplicant, but as a goddess incarnate. Her barge, adorned with gold and silver, glided down the river Cydnus.
Cleopatra, dressed as Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, captivated me and all who beheld her.
Antony, captivated by Cleopatra, followed her back to Alexandria. Their affair, passionate and tumultuous, became the stuff of legend. But it was more than just a love story. It was a strategic alliance, a merging of power that sent shockwaves through the Roman world.
Together, Antony and I ruled over Egypt and its vast territories. I, a skilled administrator, oversaw Egypt's economy and ensured its prosperity.
And I, with my military might, expanded our influence, securing our borders and repelling our enemies.
They presented themselves as a power couple, a new force to be reckoned with. Cleopatra, embracing her role as the divine consort of a Roman general, solidified her status as the last pharaoh of Egypt.
And I, seeking to legitimize my claim to power, embraced the grandeur and spectacle of the Egyptian court.
Cleopatra, a shrewd political operator, understood that her position and the future of her dynasty depended on securing Antony's loyalty and producing an heir.
In 40 BC, she gave birth to twins, Alexander Helios and Cleopatra Selene, solidifying their bond and fueling their ambitions.
Antony, increasingly enamored with Cleopatra, formally recognized their children as his own.
He bestowed upon them vast territories, challenging the traditional power structures of Rome, and raising eyebrows among the Roman elite. History, written by the victors, often distorts the truth.
Cleopatra's image has been shaped by male-dominated narratives, emphasizing her beauty as a tool of seduction.
Hollywood has further cemented this image in the popular imagination.
But the real Cleopatra was far more complex.
Her allure lay in her intellect, charisma, and political acumen. Cleopatra understood the power of image.
She embraced her Egyptian heritage, portraying herself as Isis.
But she never relied solely on appearances.
True power resided in knowledge and strategic thinking.
She was a shrewd negotiator and visionary leader.
Cleopatra's story reminds us that beauty is fleeting.
True power lies in character and intellect.
Cleopatra's story continues to fascinate us.
Cleopatra's beauty and charm were formidable assets, but they were merely tools in the arsenal of a brilliant political mind. She understood that diplomacy was essential for the survival of her kingdom in a world dominated by Rome.
Fluent in multiple languages, she was adept at navigating Roman politics. Cleopatra could be both charming and ruthless, securing Egypt's position.
Cleopatra's reign was marked by more than just political intrigue and romantic entanglements. She possessed a keen understanding of economics and recognized that Egypt's wealth was the foundation of her power. Forget the Hollywood image of endless banquets and lavish spending. Cleopatra was a pragmatic ruler who implemented innovative economic policies.
She reformed Egypt's tax system, making it more equitable and efficient, which increased revenue for the royal treasury. She invested in infrastructure, improving irrigation systems to boost agricultural production and expanding Egypt's fleet to facilitate trade.
Egypt's monopoly on papyrus, a valuable writing material, gave me significant economic leverage. I carefully controlled its production and trade, ensuring a steady stream of revenue for my kingdom.
Her reign saw the development of new industries, including perfume manufacturing and textile production, further diversifying Egypt's economy and enhancing its trade relationships. Cleopatra, the savvy businesswoman, transformed Egypt into an economic powerhouse, rivaling even Rome in its wealth and influence. Cleopatra was not content to rule as a mere monarch. She embraced her role as a living goddess, embodying Isis. This divine connection elevated her status, instilling awe and loyalty in her subjects.
She revived festivals, restored temples, and commissioned art, resonating with the Egyptian people.
By aligning with Isis, I solidified my legitimacy as pharaoh.
Cleopatra's religious policies were shrewd political maneuvers, uniting her people under a shared identity.
The alliance between Antony and Cleopatra cast a long shadow over Rome.
Octavian watched their growing influence with suspicion and envy.
He unleashed a wave of accusations against Antony. He painted him as a besotted fool, enthralled by Cleopatra's charms.
He claimed Antony sought to move the capital to Alexandria.
The Roman people proved receptive to Octavian's accusations. The Senate declared war on Egypt. The Republic was on the brink of civil war. The fate of the Roman world hung in the balance as Antony and Cleopatra's fleet met Octavian's forces off the coast of Actium in Greece. The Battle of Actium, a clash of titans, would determine the future of the Republic and the destiny of the star-crossed lovers.
Cleopatra, aboard her flagship, urged Antony to engage the enemy, to use their superior numbers to crush Octavian's fleet.
But Antony, against his better judgment, hesitated. He allowed himself to be drawn into a protracted naval engagement, a tactical error that played into Octavian's hands. Octavian's general, Agrippa, a brilliant strategist, recognized Antony's hesitation and seized the initiative. He outmaneuvered the Egyptian fleet, using fire ships to break their formations and create chaos. Antony's forces, demoralized and leaderless, began to crumble.
Cleopatra, realizing the battle was lost, ordered her ships to break through the Roman lines and flee south towards Egypt.
Antony, abandoning his command, followed her, a decision that would seal his fate and brand him a coward in the eyes of Rome. The Battle of Actium was a crushing defeat for Antony and Cleopatra. Their dreams of a shared empire lay shattered. They retreated to Alexandria, now under siege by Octavian's legions.
I've lost my gamble.
Antony sank into despair. Cleopatra remained defiant.
We must seek to negotiate a peace treaty. She sent envoys to Octavian, but Octavian refused Cleopatra's pleas.
I demand unconditional surrender. The Egyptian queen will never agree to such terms.
Octavian wanted Cleopatra as a captive. Cleopatra made a fateful decision.
I will not be a trophy for Octavian's victory. I will choose my own end, dying as a queen.
Her death would become the stuff of legend, cementing her place in history. Cleopatra's death sent shockwaves through the ancient world. The last pharaoh of Egypt was gone, her dreams of an independent Egypt dying with her.
My dreams of an independent Egypt die with me.
Octavian, her rival, had triumphed, his victory securing his grip on the Roman world and ushering in a new era, the Roman Empire. Egypt became a Roman province, its wealth flowing into Rome. Yet, even in defeat, Cleopatra emerged as a legend. The circumstances of her death, shrouded in mystery, captured the imagination of the ancient world.
Was it suicide? A defiant act to deny Octavian the satisfaction of my capture?
Whatever the truth, Cleopatra's death became a symbol of defiance, of love, of tragedy. Her story woven into the fabric of history, ensuring that her name would live on. Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of Egypt, may have died in 30 BC, but her story, her legend, lived on.
Some depicted her as a cunning seductress. Others saw her as a shrewd politician, a skilled diplomat, in a world dominated by Rome.
Over the centuries, Cleopatra's story continued to fascinate and inspire. A timeless tale of love, ambition, betrayal, and tragedy. Cleopatra's story, a tapestry woven from ambition, love, and tragedy, continues to captivate us centuries after her death.
I was far more than just a beautiful face, a pawn in a man's world.
She understood the power of image, of spectacle, and fought to preserve her kingdom's independence. Cleopatra's legacy continues to beckon us, inviting us to rediscover the woman behind the legend.